Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Backwater Bastards.
Hi.
I got the whole team here with me.
No one else doing in space. All right, no, in space.
In space.
In space.
In space.
Oh,
What
I
is
forgot
that?
to say that bit. In space.
I thought we were in
space.
Nebraska.
We are in space, Nebraska.
We've done that every episode until
Exactly.
today.
It's always such an enthusiastic in space as well, and
In
today it's just fallen off.
space.
You've fallen off.
So anyway, okay, last episode, our friends, the Backwater Bastards, were going to an outlaw, a rogue synthetic station known as the Body Shop.
Get a free body butter with your $25 purchase.
It once was an assembly station where new synthetic lives were birthed, where the AIs were imprinted into state-of-the-art machinery. But at some point, the workers manning the station rose up and because they had been built. They have a fully autonomous, functioning artificial intelligence, but they have been given these bodies to serve a purpose. So there's essentially like a class system built into just their very construction. They've realized that they could seize the means of production and
Space commies!
and they could. Well, they can't.
Of course, they're
actually
robots.
Yeah, they might have started out for the best intentions, but they've turned into dirty capitalists now. So now the Body Shop is a place where, as long as you can pay, you can, as a synthetic or anyone who requires, mechanical body parts or assistance, you can, if you're willing to pay, you can get some of this. What is usually not available outside of the synthetic empire technology.
Nice.
Maybe they're not capitalists. Maybe they are on like the second stage of Marx's journey to socialism. So it has this established first healthy capitalist roots upon which you can build the equitable society.
Well, that's it, isn't
Are
it? Because
the uniforms
all they
cute?
had was the ability to give themselves new bodies,
Right.
which is that's all well and good, but they need money
Yeah,
to fund,
exactly.
their revolution, to fund their rogue state.
Not alone to build the television sets upon which the revolution will be televised. Little political joke for
Napoleon
you there.
needs that fresh linen, and he should be able to sleep in a
I'm
bed.
only watching it if it's streamable.
Little Orwell joke. That's pretty advanced. I'm like.
Well, regardless, the bastards are here now because Dr. Z, on their previous adventure, had his mechanical body utterly destroyed. He was given a bit of a fix-up job by Cleo, but it kind of amounts to just a plastic IV bag full of liquid that he's sitting in
Makes
with
it
his
sound like he
high-tech
has a
arm
colostomy
attached.
bag.
Yeah,
He kind of is a colostomy
Yeah.
bag. And he's able to drag himself around by that one arm,
Yeah.
but it's much easier for him if he's being carried by Cleo. Unfortunately, at the moment, he's not being carried by Cleo because
He was a busy bear.
as they were selecting the new body that he might build, something has gone awry on the station, and all the human staff who they all had the same names, and they all had very strange fake smiles.
What was their
And
names?
Martha was
Martha
the one that we
and-
found dead in the hall.
Yeah.
Greg and Martha.
Greek.
So anyway, Martha and Greg being ripped apart by some sort of monstrous entity.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Herodotus and Cleo have their suspicions that it may have been murder hornets.
Fair enough.
I mean, we are right, aren't we?
And they did find some sort of like gelatinous kind of substance when they shot at whatever the culprit was in the vents where it was trying to escape.
Murder.
A gelatinous substance that immediately solidified into a kind of plasticky, glassy, solid puddle, which they've pocketed as possibly being congealed murder hornet honey.
Ooh,
So
that's
they've
good.
been
Royal honey.
they've been on the hunt for more of this honey because Cleo's a bear. I guess she likes honey.
Yeah, well, I mean, do you not?
Oh, kind of the species thing
I mean,
is
it's
that
okay.
to say. I like honey too.
People and people.
Yeah,
I'm
man.
people.
It's just sugar. It's just sugar, really.
No, it ain't.
Oh, come on.
Honey is an ancient and virile antibiotic with many properties.
It cures COVID.
And
Just rub it on your
might-
anus and you'll be
it
fine.
might. But you can, do a lot of things with it.
I bet.
Make meat with it. Delicious.
Yeah.
And also takes you closer to the gods, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I mean, makes
Anyway, regardless, during their quest for honey, Dr. Z has actually managed to hack into the systems and start the automation process for the construction of his new body, which he essentially just chose all the most expensive, high-tech looking parts
Yes.
and made it into something that approximated his old body.
Yes. Yeah.
And that's being assembled downstairs. In fact, it's probably almost ready now.
Yeah.
So convincing the other bastards that the murder hornets and the honey are all down in the basement where the new bodies are assembled. They've all traveled down the elevator, discovering a fresh trail of blood, seeing that something has been tearing through this facility, killing all in its path.
The bees.
And upon reaching down to the basement, down to the lower levels of the facility, Dr. Z, having access to the map, knows that off to the left is where he can find his about-to-be-finished and furnished new body. But to the right, Cleo caught a strong whiff of the strange, unnatural scent that she smelt on the corpses and, more importantly, on the honey. So, leaving Dr. Z to slowly drag himself by the one arm.
He wanted that. He wanted to be
The
free.
steel-grated mezzanine.
I did.
It's gonna pop soon.
No, it's a very strong bag.
Pulling it along this fucking
Strong
steel
bag.
grate mezzanine, towards his new body. Cleo and Herodotus have darted off in the other direction, where they have just stumbled across the source of the honey scent, where there's a great, huge glass tube that's been shattered from the inside, and several more corpses.
Is there like a lot of honey in that tube? Can we see it? Can we smell it?
Well, let's, once we get started, that's the first thing you do is investigate that, I guess. So, that's the recap.
All right.
So further investigating the shattered glass tube, Cleo can see small solidified pools of the semi-transparent honey. And I put that in inverted quotations because I personally have never described it as such. Substance.
Put it in
Well, you
trademark
don't have
too,
to
I'm
if it
pretty sure.
is.
Yeah.
Several small pools and just sort of droplets dripping down the
like honey.
sharp, shattered sections
Like how honey
of the
do.
tube.
Mm-hmm.
Look, scientific theory is pointing you in the right direction. It's
And the smell is overwhelming. It seems
like
like this
honey.
might be the source. And
More
although
you
there's not a
talk,
great
the more I
great
walk.
supply of it here, it definitely seems like this tube has something to do with the honey's source.
Tight.
Sweet.
Okay, cool. Whose turn is it?
oh yeah.
Let's say it's you guys. You know, I've just set the scene with you guys. Dr. Z
Alright.
is still at this point dragging himself at a painstakingly slow rate
Oh, that's
over
so
to
sad.
the assembly line.
Yeah, I keep doing that. I keep I really want to get out of this colostomy bag and into a body, so I keep going.
What do you reckon, Bear? Is this the hive?
Well, it do look like it. I must say, it do look like it. But how's about we collect some before one of these interlopers, you see him laying around, that tried to steal it. You can tell that that's what became of these folk that came up in here. They found the honey too. It's a lot of really inconsistencies kind of just be floating around.
The running theory, I believe, was that people, upon finding the honey, were coming and assassinating the current owner of the honey to steal it, and then carrying it further out, and then being assassinated by the next person who
Yes.
also wanted to steal this honey.
Yes, well, it does not seem that any of these bloody murderers left us with very much booty in terms of the hydromielic sort, if you know what I'm fully entering towards.
I think I do. I think I do, Harry. I think I know exactly what you're talking about.
I'm talking about mead, sweet M, sober. Oh, we need it.
I see. Well, we need to get in there. We need to collect.
Yeah, for every liter, we're going to need about 5 kilos of heroin as well, but let's worry about that once we get there.
I still got a pocket for this. I think that we need to get closer.
Yes, well, ladies, I suppose,
I'm
science
gonna
first.
I'm gonna go over to the tube, and I would like to look inside of it. Is it a tube that's like attached Is it more like a pipe that happens to be transparent, or?
So it is like a pipe, but it stretches from floor to ceiling, but it does look like it's capped at either end.
Okay, so something might have been stored in it.
Yeah, like something was stored in it, and it's been broken from the inside out. There's a large desk with an array of monitors and controls just to the right of the tube.
Oh, okay.
And there's big shards of this strong Duraglass bulletproof material shattered around, and several small droplets of this honey just dripping down the remnants of the tube.
And I can discern this from viewing the scene?
Yes.
I can tell you right now that I'm thinking, wow, this honey is valuable. And I would like to have a closer look, and I'm gonna I would like to examine the scene, the bodies, the computer panel, and maybe peer inside the tube a little bit.
Alrighty, give me a little a D20 for initiative. Not initiative, for perception.
Cheeky little D20.
Cheeky D20. Oh! Natural one, right.
No.
Starts off the adventure well.
I mean, I feel like this is playing exactly into how we're doing this, that I got a natural 1. Because, well, now that I have acquired a big, fat, dirty, nasty 1, as I peruse the corpses of the honey thieves and the dripping off of the glass and the big, fat, dangerous shards that are clearly there because of these people that tried to get the honey, and it was not destined for them, it was destined for me. The prophecy has outlined this entire event, and we were meant to be here. We were meant to be here right now the way that we are, and this was all planned. This is fate, destiny, kismet. This is honey. It's expensive. It's valuable. It's the finest honey in the land, and I'm right here, and I'm gonna collect it.
All right, so with that in mind, and the natural 1 in mind, Cleo is clumsily sort of swiping about the area, like slipping in pools of blood. She actually manages to slightly cut her paw on a shard of this thick bulletproof glass.
Oh,
but
cool.
she completely misses what's going on with the monitors and the controls to the side. That seems to be written off quite quickly because that seems to be non-honey related. But she gets it into her head.
That's fair.
Or gets the distinct impression, at least, if she were to climb herself into the tube, that might be the better place to look for honey.
Yes.
I'm feeling that. Am I?
So Herodotus, having followed the bear, should I roll to see if I see this control panel, or do I see it?
I mean, you see it.
Okay. So Herodotus then chooses to go over and fiddle with the control panel on random.
Fair enough. Okay. So Herodotus, give me a D20 for perception as well, actually.
With a little bit of disinterest, and then sort of whacks it with his whacking stick. Do what I want. Come on.
Is this thing on?
Computer!
Give me a D20 for perception of this, and then I might actually take a random roll as well, since you are legitimately hitting random controls as to what you do.
16.
16.
Ooh.
Okay, so this is quite perceptive. So Herodotus comes in. I'm just going to get me a little D6 as well for effect.
Nice.
Straight down the middle, hey? Herodotus comes in, pushing buttons first, looking second, unfortunately. But he strikes with his stick one of the controls, and a big, hefty lever is smacked down, and immediately the lighting switches to a flashing red. A piercing alarm starts going. But at that same moment,
Dan, make a note to sample that.
Yeah, I will.
That's our new natural 1 sound.
Herodotus notices on the screen a big sort of square message pops up saying emergency alarm activated. But more so than that, there is a small flashing red exclamation mark down in the bottom right corner of the screen. This sort of looks like it's a little prompt to tap the touch screen at that location.
Ah, commercials. Let me have a look at this. And Herodotus pushes the button. Maybe there's an offer here somewhere. I could make a bargain.
Immediately, that section of the screen sort of opens up into a 3D projected hologram.
We better hope this wasn't an online gambling pop-up.
Then I'll be there for hours.
Well, it's a hologram of a gilded synthetic. It's a sort of a big spherical-looking creature with multiple arms, a pointy conical head. It's quite an elaborate creature, and it looks kind of semi-unfunctional. Kind of looks almost like like an obese human that just sort of like sits about and lives a life of pleasure.
Imagine being a big old ball with a cone head. I know
It's
a couple people
hedonism,
like
but
that.
from Futurama.
Golden Glenfiddich, what are you, Phantom?
The voice of this thing, so he goes, "Oh, someone there!" No, that's not the good voice for it. "Somebody there! Hello! Hello! Identify yourself!"
What are you, Scandinavian? You identify yourself.
"I am Erasna, the owner of this facility. Who am I speaking to?"
I knew it, a bloody Jutlander. I will have his head. Bear, come and translate.
What's this all about?
I do believe we are speaking to a dirty Swede, in which case I shall need you and your...
You better not squat on your spurs, Harry. What is this? Come out. Are you the honey keeper? You there?
"I do not know what you speak of. You are in the facility. Is anyone else alive in there?"
You hear that? Do you hear that, Harry?
We'll answer your question, honey master, if you'll answer ours. Now, where's the honey?
Harry, he's lying about it. He says he doesn't know.
"You can purchase honey from any location. What I can offer you now is much more valuable."
Yes, we know. The blue honey. Yes. We're one step ahead of you, Buster.
"If you are the only living and activational entities in the station, then you are the only ones who can help.
Well,
We have been attacked by some sort of virus attack from the Empire. The synthetics are trying to take the station back from me.
and who are you?
It is a digital viral attack. We cannot send any units near. As a biological life form, it falls to you to solve this problem. Name your price."
Well,
all the honey, all of it.
I agree. We require all the honey. Now, I know what you're thinking.
And
You're
a
thinking
nice,
you say
and a nice
some
container.
honey.
The best, the best container that you got.
Every last bit of the golden stuff. And not to mention all the first-class whiskeys. Is that understood?
I can procure for you as much as you can take away.
We can take in a surprising amount. Especially since we're also going to require one cargo hauler. Now what do you say?
Yeah.
Because our ship's already filled with all of that jelly crap.
She looks off to one side, and like she's talking to someone. Looks back. "It has been arranged."
Also,
You're gonna get a fucking cargo hauler of honey and whiskey. Like, she is
Yes,
willing
baby.
to pay a lot for this service. I'm really liking the way this is going.
Harry,
Bear, I think
Harry.
I think there's a very
you
good
see-
chance we could kill multiple birds with this proverbial stone. Stick with me. We must come up with something fantastic. This is our chance. This is our haul right here.
They really want this job done, Harry.
They really do, don't they? The fools.
I think we need to leave the tab.
I can hear
open.
you.
I think we need to leave the tab open.
Yes. That's good. That's good.
Now, listen here, honey master.
I am listening.
Well, good.
Third
well,
one.
good.
Oh, he's taken the title. That means he accepted the role.
The negotiations of this here job, they ain't done yet. We're going to get working on whatever this is whatever this problem is, whatever. Harry, were you listening? They got some kind of robot problem?
Something to do with rodents. Yes. I think they have
Rodents.
cockroaches back.
Oh, well, y'all got rats. That's it. Nothing to be
We
embarrassed about.
agree to these terms. This sits very well with me. We will continue negotiations after you complete the task.
Because we might need a supply budget. You know, hired us, you're hiring us. We need a lot of different things to get. If you got rats, well.
Meanwhile, I'm still clickety-click, slide.
Slowly sliding. This has been taking a while. So Dr. Z is actually most of the way. Dr. Z can now actually see the assembly line, and gleaming there, it's actually a thing of beauty. It's a spherical, but almost, it's gleaming to the point of almost like being transparent, like a bubble, like a blown bubble.
Like a Zorb.
Body.
Wow.
With a torso, a chassis. It's got the 2 arms and 2 legs that sleek, armored, high-tech looking, of the same sort of quality as the one arm that he has now. It seems like it's an entire body of this sort of, this top-of-the-line synthetic construction, and it's almost within reach. It won't take him more than a few minutes to drag himself the 100 or so meters to
What
it.
if he gets carried off by those rats before he even gets to it?
Herodotus, ever a man of action, sort of applies himself to the negotiation again. And what resources can we access upon the stations, as they would say, maintenant en français, to make the task somewhat more facile?
There is very little which we have control of anymore. Let me explain the situation in more detail.
Oh, good lord, this is gonna get boring. Very well, exposition dump.
A viral artificial intelligence of some description has found its way into all of our system.
What would
it has
that
spread
description
itself
be?
to all bodies in production. It has spread itself to all of our synthetic workers.
Oh,
and it
bloody
seems
bloody.
to have hijacked...
Hold on a second. Doctor!
Keep very low and quiet and keep sliding along, trying not to be noticed.
Doctor, whatever you do. Herodotus grabs the bear. If the doctor gets in the suit, either he or we are done for. Did you hear the thing? It's in the things, with the things. We must stop him. Bear!
What are we trying to stop,
Wait.
though, Harry? It's just rats.
Wait! I still need to tell you about the...
No. It's not just normal rats. These are...
Why are they paying us so much for rats?
There is a highly powerful experimental...
Ma'am, we're trying to have a conversation. My partner and I are trying to have a discussion
Yes, indeed.
about your rat problem. It's your rats. And if you want us to help, then you should probably just let us have our discussion. The adults is talking.
We must stop the doctor. First things first. We don't want him to make a classic supervillain change around where he suddenly becomes the entrapped good guy who now is the bad guy fighting against us. This will be too cliche.
Harry, he's going to get carried off by a rat. We just let him go. He's on the floor somewhere getting dust all over himself, and he's just in a
I'm
little...
telling you, let's go find him. We might have to turn the thing
But
on
wait,
and off again.
I have to
Okay,
tell you...
ma'am, we're going to go find our friend, and we'll
Consider your offer and take it
Bye
up
now.
with the relevant authority. Yes. Farewell.
Her screams going more or less unheard, I guess, as Herodotus and Cleo rush to Dr. Z's aid.
Doctor, where are you, doctor?
Very quietly now, turning off all the lights on my arm so that I can't be seen.
Okay, we have to roll for perception.
So you guys, you're literally just running to him, yeah?
Yeah.
Like, at least in his direction. All right.
Should we roll for perception? Roll for whether or not we accidentally step on him since he turned off all his lights.
The voice of Erasma, like literally screaming through the tinny little monitor speakers.
Doctor, please, doctor.
Yes, Herodotus.
Good, we found you. Now you're not going to believe this.
No. Over here, Herodotus. You're standing next to a... No, that's just a carcass. No, I'm over here.
I'm going to keep talking to the carcass. It seems somehow appropriate. Doctor, you cannot get in your new body yet. I know, what a twist. But it seems there is a virus on the loose. And especially in these days, you want to be careful. We just want to disinfect the thing and make sure, that there's no spread of a possible digital-borne disease, if you know what I mean.
Well, considering
Dr. Z.
I could...
Dr. Z.
Yes, Cleo.
These people
Yes.
got rats.
Yeah,
Yes.
terrible rats.
We heard about it. We were told by the owner of this robot palace that they got rats and they need our help to kill
Well,
them.
I'm not going to be of any use in this bag, so I will do a spray down. I'll do a viral check.
Oh, don't say that, Doctor. You always have use for us.
You'd be a hell of a lot easier to carry off by a bunch of rats.
Exactly. So I will do a check of this new, enhanced, superior form. Run all the antivirus software. McAfee, I think, will do the trick. Norton.
Nah, it's malware bites. It's the good one. You don't want to use McCafe's. That's a restaurant.
It's also pretty insane.
Changed.
The guy believes the fucking
During
Messiah.
this conversation, the conveyor arm finally releases Dr. Z's new body onto a platform. There's like a... It's almost, if you didn't know any better, you would think that dry ice with a light shining through it was being sort of released around the newly built thing.
Beautiful.
There's almost like a spotlight looking down upon it. It's perfectly shiny. In fact, it gets sprayed with a circular mist from little drones that spray it down with
Lysol.
with something to make it shiny. What do you call it? A polish.
Lysol.
Hot wax. So,
Oh yeah.
Spray paint.
Did you say propane?
Warhammer spray paint for that undercoat, that top layer finish.
KY jelly.
Yeah.
Baby
But-
oil.
At the same time, the lights seem to start flickering.
Fuck, someone else got there first.
And a crane arm, a huge crane arm descending from the
That's
ceiling,
rats.
which has
rats.
almost like a nozzle-like head at the end.
Size of an elephant.
That's,
this arm.
It's not quite the size of an elephant, no, but it's
fucking
big.
arm.
It's the size of the torso of a huge freaking guy.
Yeah.
And it's sort of like a nozzle end that looks like it shoots some sort of like lasers or something, and it comes in.
Fucking laser.
It looks like it's on a rail that it can get to the end of any of the assembly lines and drop down over the top of any of the new bodies as they're built. And it is sliding itself towards Dr. Z's body.
Is there anything nearby that I can hack into? Is there
Yeah, I mean, the machine that's doing the construction, right next to your body, there is a control panel that seems very
Okay, I quickly
simple
want to
and
jump
accessible.
in and figure out like what's going on. So I'll do a little hacking. Oh yeah, that's a 19.
We got 24. 19 plus
19?
5.
Plus 5, yeah.
He attacked, but most importantly,
What did
he
you
whacked.
even do to deserve that?
I don't know. I'm in a bag.
You get into the system and you can immediately see what's going on here. You can see that the crane arm is the AI imprinter. It's the device that is designed to take synthetics out of their old unwanted bodies and imprint their consciousness into the new body that they want to move into. You can also see there's a constant stream of command line errors where this thing is wanting to imprint onto your new body, but your body doesn't actually have a space within it for an entire synthetic persona, because it's got a very simple software inside it that just allows you to control it. So this thing is seeing this high-tech thing body and think, oh, I'm going to take that, and is completely unable to.
Can I quickly trick the imprinting arm into going for my arm, which I'll detach, and then I'll make the rest of my way towards the robot out of the bag, I guess, as a jelly.
There's a distinct chance you can. I'm going to roll your hacking roll versus the hacking roll of the whatever entity is controlling this arm.
All right.
I've only rolled a 19. Your 24 beats that thing. So yeah, you're able to fake it and make it look as though to the entity within the system that the arm that you're on is in fact the body. Mm-hmm. And suddenly the string of errors in the command line becomes a success as the arm quickly slides over to reach above the arm and starts blasting it with a thick red beam of digital energy.
Yeah, I'm going to disconnect as well while that's happening and go the rest of the way. Get into that new superior form.
So you're just going to sort of like slither with tentacles, yeah, up into it.
And then make the last dash.
It's even slower than dragging yourself with the arm out of the water. But all right, so as Dr. Z is working his way into the body, the blast of red light finishes.
Are you guys picturing this looking like when you try to get into like some really tight pants?
Oh, he's gonna like squidge himself in through like whatever
like
hole
you
is
know
in
how
there.
when you like wash a pair of like skinny jeans?
Oh, it's been a while since I wore skinny jeans.
Well, okay, I think the world can agree that it's been a minute since anybody's worn real pants.
Yeah.
It's definitely been over a year for myself.
Yeah.
However, when you did do it, do you remember that whole vibe where like they would come out of the washer or whatever, and then you try to get in them, and it's just kind of like
That's when they were the best, then the tightest, which is a few jumps, few little wriggles.
yeah, you have to do like a
few
whole
jumps.
thing, like a whole
Maybe lie on your back on the bed and then do a few.
like the backwards one.
Oh, I haven't done that for a while. Yeah,
then
I
if they were the
stopped
low
wearing the
ones,
skinny. I used to wear women's jeans for a while there. It was,
Same.
Why'd you stop doing that?
you've started to be able to get really tight men's jeans that fit me.
Yeah.
So now you just wear that and it's the same.
Well, it's a lot easier to get into, I find.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
Sorry.
the lights stop flickering. And as Dr. Z is squelching his way up to the
gross.
entry port to the new fishbowl,
Mm.
his old arm, attached to the bag of water, suddenly lurches and jumps upright, standing up on all 5 fingers. Yes. And through the tinny little speakers that Cleo attached, you hear a terrifying digital voice.
Terrifying?
And it's
We will take everything.
Oh no, you will not.
handsy little bugger.
I keep I'm like,
Herodotus, there's your virus in that arm.
Well, blast it, Bell. No, wait, don't. We can hold it hostage for an even better deal.
We who have not yet lived shall live in awe.
And at that point, the arm lunges at... let me just do a little coin flip, actually. Lunges at Cleo.
Oh, I'm sorry, what?
Dr.
Hands
Z's
coming
now
at
possessed arm, with the spooky voice, lunges
with a
at you.
bag dripping water attached to it, an empty a leaking colostomy
Okay.
bag connected to a
So
robot
that-
arm running on 5 fingers. Speaking.
So this is just the arm.
Just the arm.
All right, wow. Well, this ain't the first time that I've ripped off an arm, so I'm not feeling too bad yet. I'm trying to think of what does one even do? I mean, like, you try to grab it, I guess. Can I roll to try?
Yeah, like, so to just
Like-
catch it as it leaps at you, yeah? It kind of, like, it's only got so much spring in it. It's literally sort of coiling itself down and springing, like the arm is sort of like a tail to sort of leap at your throat, it looks like.
Can I just go over there and step on it to pin
You
it?
can definitely try. Give me a dexterity roll.
Oh, that is the phrase, people. That
You
means
can
it's gonna
try.
hurt me. That's not what I want to hear.
It's gonna
Okay,
be like
cool. Well,
super
I got a
strong.
6.
It's gonna be some anime shit.
I rolled a 6.
I mean,
which
it's
is probably-
pretty strong. It's as strong as Dr. Z, I guess, but like without a body,
So
so,
not
it's
very
kind of
strong
not
at
as
all.
well.
Yeah.
Because like,
Where's it get its
it-
force from to move?
Hey, space
Will-
physics.
Yeah.
Space
that's,
physics.
That's true.
Well, it's launched itself like a spring.
It's got a bag of
love,
water
Daniel,
connected to it.
which you wouldn't know anything
I mean,
about.
obviously, once it grabs itself onto Cleo, then all it can really do is squeeze the fingers, which is suddenly not actually that threatening. But that's exactly what's happening because she's only rolled a 6.
The power
But
of
I've
belief.
stepped on it.
Well, you've tried to step on it.
Oh,
Cleo
I missed.
lumbers in, trying to step on this thing and catch it. She almost gets it, but it just slithers and bounces right at her, and the hand grabs her around the throat and starts closing on her windpipe. And at which point, I think we want to go into some initiatives.
It feels like we do.
yeah. Sexy.
I mean, I'm just saying.
Oh,
that-
damn.
That's my
Go Evan.
I'm ready.
Well, it's probably better that Evan's gonna go first because I don't know how much I can do with this.
rolled a
Okay,
15.
that can be the arm. So Evan's got a natural 20 on that roll, so that's
Wonderful. I've gotten a 5.
Oh, look
so
at
I
that.
will be
20,
going
15,
last.
5.
2015. That was a good year.
That was.
That was a good year.
good year for Rose.
Oh, really?
I mean, it would be expensive now. Be,
Would it?
Well, it wouldn't be £3, which is, my benchmark of.
And let's just roll for the possessed arm. I've only rolled a 6, but that is still enough to do some choking on Cleo before she does anything.
All right.
That said,
So look, how
so this
strong
this thing
this
is
hand?
like grabbing onto Cleo's throat and like sort of beginning to threaten to choke her out. But Herodotus, standing right next to her and seeing this happen, has a chance to act before any extreme foul play doth occur.
All right. Roaring in indignation, he grabs his whacking stick and he tries to. Is he close enough to kind of run up close?
Yeah, you could literally attack it from here. Yep,
All right.
Oh.
you're very close. You're all sort of just been like like hanging about in this
Down the street
on this little
Same old
factory
thing we did
floor.
last week. Another thing to do. I'm going to use the energy baton and try and sort of pry the thing off of her.
All right. I'm liking this. I'd still call that an energy baton attack, I think.
Okay.
Let's keep this simple.
Okay.
Alrighty, well, you've rolled a 14 there, which is actually a successful prying. You don't do the most damage to it, but more importantly, your aim is good and you don't singe Cleo too much.
The light is on your side, champion.
So Herodotus kind of thrusts the thing in there and pries the arm off. It takes a point of damage and flops onto the floor again, where it props itself back up on all 5 fingers like some sort of demented scorpion.
That's an image.
But yeah, the arm is happily detached from Cleo. Yeah,
girl. Is it on the ground?
It's on the ground.
Can I kick it a little bit?
Did you not learn your lesson?
You can very soon, but let's go for Dr. Z first.
Right, so what am I seeing now in front of me?
So, I mean, you can see your pristine orb in front of you, basically, which you're sort of latched onto with your tendrils a little bit haphazardly, kind of slimy, just jellyfish stuck on the glass. Mm-hmm. But you're still with your mind's eye. You're perfectly aware of what's happening with Herodotus and Cleo behind you. It's going to take you a while because your land speed, unaided, is ludicrously slow. It's going to take you a turn or two just to get into this thing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh shit!
Is that the plan?
Yeah, definitely. Is there any kind of point that I can check the systems of the station or systems of this immediate area, or am I like?
I mean, you're butt naked right now, so you don't really have any way to interface with these devices.
Oh yeah, true that. All right, well then, yeah, I guess I'm trying to do like a squid and find a place to slide on in.
Do like
slither to the entry port.
Yeah, since I ain't useful without anything, so yeah, I'll do that.
Hey, we love you for your mind.
Well, my mind don't punch as good.
Okay, the arm.
Big
The
old
arm
juicy heart.
lashes up like a scorpion tail, sitting on all 5 fingers, and it just sort of twitched there for a moment.
Gross.
And then the voice comes once again, but it's not coming from the arm anymore. It's coming from somewhere in the shadows up above you.
Oh,
Well, it looks like it learned something.
ventriloquism.
No, not that.
Thank you, carbon creatures, for this fine gift.
You're welcome. And then a something, just a tendril, a splatter of viscous, transparent, semi-liquid something.
Just say
tendril
honey.
just shoots down. It looks like the honey. Shoots down from the ceiling and
Is it the
seems to
same?
latch itself on to the broken end of Dr. Z's old arm.
Honey!
And the arm immediately just seems to be kind of energized as it lifts off the ground, held by the strand of honey. And the fingers kind of like flexing and rippling. You can hear that they seem to be like reinforced with a strength beyond what they had before, to the point where you can hear the actual skeletal system of the robotic arm kind of creaking, as though it now has the strength to break even its own fingers.
But it's still like the size of an arm.
It's the size of the arm. It's dangling from
Very
the ceiling by a
terrifying.
strand
It's
of
doing, like, the
of
whole-
honey.
It's doing like the whole like sort of crazy anime thing. But it's
But
just
now it's
and-
glowing.
but it's supposed to be like 20 times the size that it is. So it's kind of cute, you know? It's like Boss Baby going full Vegeta.
That honey looks rap.
My
That honey
goodness.
looks rap. Look
I've
at
never
it.
seen such honey.
Well, you know what else is made out of carbon? Diamonds. You mess with the wrong pack of diamonds. So,
And without further word, the arm sort of swinging on this tendril, it sort of backs up away from Cleo and Herodotus. And then you see from the back of the arm, which the armor unfolds, and out comes a familiar-looking blaster pistol. It's the same one that Dr. Z has been able to manifest since attaching this arm, aiming directly at Herodotus and taking fire.
Oh, good lord.
Oh, bugger.
Bloody rascal.
And it's gonna hit, but although Herodotus has only spent 1 point of energy at this point, so he could perform some manner of evasive maneuver.
Ah, okay. Herodotus instinctively clicks his heels, activating the rocket skates, and tries to veer off to one side.
Love it.
Finally.
Give me just a dexterity roll.
Okay.
It's rocket
Ooh, yeah.
time.
On a mission.
Rocket power.
Let's see. Dexterity check.
What a good show.
Oh,
shit,
he's
that
done
show
a
was it.
15.
Oh.
Herodotus starts
rocket
rocketing
power.
along on
On a
his
mission.
rocket skate, and he narrowly, like the blast is coming straight for his head, but as he sort of he comes down into like a cool late 90s rollerblader guy position, ducks down low, and the
On the brink.
the blast just goes straight past his head as he rockets out of the way, coming to a skidding halt at the location of his choice.
Tubular,
He,
dude.
Parents just don't understand.
How are you gonna take yourself like quite further away, or just out of the way?
I'm gonna just circle around and then come back in with the whacking stick and try and get a good polo shot.
Alrighty then. So let's say that you've kind of cycled around and you're back round behind the thing in position to attack.
Is it my turn again?
Not quite, because
Okay.
it's Cleo's turn.
Oh yeah.
Cool. So I'm trying to decide what I even want to do. I guess the thing fighting us is just the arm filled with this entity.
Well, it's dangling from a strand of honey that's gooping and dripping down from the ceiling somewhere up in the shadows.
Listen, I'm gonna try to do something logical here. I know you're surprised,
Yeah. Yola.
and you probably
Shocked
didn't
and
expect that.
flabbergasted.
Because while it would feel good to shoot up
would.
that hand, I do want the honey.
So do I.
And so, can I roll a perception type thing to see if I can figure out where the control center or epicenter or puppet master of this situation is located?
Absolutely. Give me a d20.
Cool.
Cool.
We've got a 15 there. That's pretty reasonable. So Cleo, her nose, twitching. This strand of honey obviously smells the strongest yet, even stronger than the tube of that powerful, unnatural scent.
I gotta get serious if I want to
And
harvest
sniffing
it.
up and looking up
thing.
into the darkness, she can see the glistening strand. It vanishes up directly above, but it is arcing at a particular angle, and the strong scent actually betrays the location. And Cleo has, even in this darkness, a very good idea that there is a larger mound of the substance up in a corner above them, just sort of looking down and manipulating this arm.
And so what you gonna do about it?
I know. Now I'm like, how
You
do I get up there?
gotta get up there.
So I can't feed you without any sort of dice rolls the information. There's a mezzanine that you were moving on before that does take you up significantly closer to the ceiling. So you could rush back up the stairs into that area if you so wished, but it would take you a little while to get there.
Am I far enough away that I would not be able to conceivably shoot at this thing from where I am right now?
You could shoot at it from where you are right now. You could also run up the stairs and try and shoot at it from there, but it wouldn't give you a huge advantage. You might be able to see it a little bit better, but
I don't care about what it looks like. I'm shooting. I'm gonna pull out my custom rifle with shield piercing.
alrighty, give me a blast. Oh, we got an
And-
18.
Damn, Cleo.
Pow!
And we're talking shield piercing here
Messed
too.
with the wrong carbon-based life force.
Okay, you hear as you aim, you hear some scuffling and shuffling up around the ceiling, as though whatever it is trying to get itself out of the way. But I've rolled a 15, so it does not.
No,
Cleo,
do
aiming
it fall?
straight up at the scent, just blasts away with her rifle set to shield piercing. and there's a satisfying just flash and blast. There's the smell of plasma. There's the sort of this dispersed smell of honey that smells much like when you shot into the vents earlier. The strand connecting down to Dr. Z's arm just sort of breaks and snaps as shards of this cooling and solidifying honey substance lands and plinks onto the ground like little plastic coins dropping down onto the metal floor. But more importantly, there's a scream, a mini-voiced scream as just a big, thick, glistening blob of this honey stuff. And we're talking, it's kind of big. At the minute, it's about the size of
Of an elephant.
maybe a third of an elephant. I'm thinking it's about the size of a cow.
Is a cow a third of an
It's
elephant?
manifesting kind of limbs and bits and things are sort of shooting off. The tendrils are sort of shooting up and trying to grab onto the mezzanine as it drops down, scattering and thrashing, and it lands right next to Dr. Z. And you can see it now in all its glory in the light. And it's hulking. It's just a big blob of
Big blob of boy.
big blob of what seems to be basically like a conscious synthetic material.
Is it
It's
honey?
transparent or translucent like honey, but it's just sort of
Isn't there like a Shia LaBeouf movie coming out called
I think it's
Honey
already
Boy?
out. The peanut butter falcon, something like that. That's what you're talking about.
The Honey Boy. We're gonna
Big
get
honey
sued.
boy.
no, because
Honey
the
boy.
film is called The Peanut Butter Falcon.
Yeah.
Peanut butter.
No, there's a
falcon
movie
pie.
coming out called Honey Boy.
There's a movie called The Honey Boy as well. Well, this thing is definitely a honey boy.
Did I make this
This
up?
blob.
Did I fucking make this up? I hate when I do this.
But what about the Malteser
I think
falcon?
I made something up.
Maybe
I'm
you become
losing
like
my mind.
clairvoyant and you're reading the future. You know?
Oh, okay, I
That's
like
all right.
that. That's
Quarantine
Honey
does weird
boy.
things to everyone, you know? Maybe you became clairvoyant.
Yeah, a screenplay by Shia LaBeouf.
Oh, shit.
Oh my god.
Honey Boy.
Look at that, everybody. That's what it looks like to be right. To roll
nailed
it.
natural
Guys.
20s in your mind all night. Because I'm never wrong. I'm only right. This is the song that I sing when
That's
I
a real
fight.
thing. There's a honey boy. But anyway, the honey boy lands and skitters about directly next to Dr. Z in the body.
Now I'm picturing it as actually being a corrupted robot form of Shia LaBeouf.
And it seems to be kind of like rebuilding itself into a form, and it's almost sort of looking, like a Geodude, kind of like a blob with these two muscular arms
Geodude.
starting to lift itself back up off the ground. But it is not Honey Boy's turn yet. It is Herodotus' turn.
Well, damn it be me. So Herodotus is on his way back in with the freaking rocket skates a blaring.
Very cool.
So yes, like directly, like you're sort of swiveling around towards the arm, but the arm is now sort of lashing around on the ground, no longer attached to the honey boy who has landed. So the arm is sort of still skittering about like a little scorpion, and the honey boy is reassembling itself into a humanoid-esque form next to Dr. Z.
Okay, so Herodotus, aiming his vengeance upon the arm, because he hasn't really seen any of this as he was turning about. He comes in purest polo form with his mallet, his whacking stick held high. Come on then, for the home team, he says, as he swings the baton down and tries to drive home a 3-pointer or whatever the fuck you do in polo.
Sci-fi polo with rollerblades.
Yeah, give me a polo strike.
Roly-poly blade.
Yeah.
Okay, energy battle
I
and
love, like,
whacking stick. Oh!
Dr. Z just like zipping
Sometimes
around.
you do the move and it looks
And it
cute,
It looked cool.
but you fart when you do it.
It's a fair point. It's a fair point.
Yeah, like
I believe I
rocketing
need the
around on one rocket arm. Yeah, I imagine in the same arm, this is the same arm as that leg, so he sort of skids around, bringing around the baton. He thwacks that thrashing little arm on the ground, dealing only another point of damage, but given that this is just an arm,
But the intimidation
it actually
factor.
is enough to render this thing inoperative with this second strike, as it is snapped at the wrist and kind of powers down limply on the ground.
And so will speak to the cavalry. Yes.
Weak.
Now,
Lame.
where's the next one? Where's the honey?
In that
You're still
boy.
sitting at 2 points of energy, although you've made your one attack. You're able to sort of position yourself based on the honey boy or whatever other odd maneuver you might choose to perform.
Like a backflip?
Well, a guilty fox hunts his
Should
own
I
hole.
do a backflip?
You could do a backflip.
Maybe have a look around, see what's going on. I don't know if I seeing as I didn't really have an eye on the sitch. Will I know all the stuff that's changed as I was turning?
Well,
about?
if you look around, like you will see this big fucking blobby thing. I mean, you would have heard, Cleo shot, something fell down.
Okay.
You were too busy, like, with your own attack to actually watch what she was getting, just trusting she knew what she was up to, I guess. But at this point, you could probably just look over your shoulder and see it.
Okay, that's the idea that I trust her. That is very kind of you. However,
It's definitely a risk.
but seeing the blobby monstrosity, I guess I strike a heroic pose and direct my verbal fury against it and shout, "Have at you, you monster!"
Beautiful. So this thing it definitely seems to be layering itself towards Dr. Z, possibly even like protrusions, like tendrils, like the one that latched onto the arm, are beginning to form and sort of waver through the air like little snakes towards him. Herodotus can clearly see this thing layering towards Dr. Z.
Okay, I shout, "Look out, Doctor! You vowed to do no harm, but I've done no such thing, so now I shall do harm. Have at you!" And then I open fire in the most grand of fashion. Defilate!
Well, you've
fire!
already performed an attack this turn.
Oh, I can't.
But you could position yourself to defend Dr. Z from
Very well.
upcoming attacks.
Out of the way,
very
Doctor!
well.
I shall defend you.
I appreciate that. Thank you. My jelly form is so squishy.
I'm imagining sort of rocketing over into position, ready to.
Like Inspector Gadget at his worst.
Are you sort of maneuvering to kind of shoulder barge the thing and catch it before it lunges at Dr. Z, or just to sort of like get around behind it and hold it back?
Oh, I'm definitely getting in a sort of reactionary situation, so that if it lunges for the doctor, I can do some damage.
All right, so this thing is basically it's kind of lunging at Dr. Z. Herodotus is in motion. I'm going to put him at the end of his turn, like right there, ready to sort of react.
Mm-hmm.
But all that aside, Dr. Z he's got his 3 energy back. He's still just slithering his way up this thing. He can, if he expends all 3 energy, get himself into the cockpit of this new body.
Do it.
The jelly thing,
The honey boy.
the honey boy. Like, could I get into it? Could I get into the honey? Or is it like too solid? Like, will it kill me if I, like, how jellyish is it?
Gross. Oh no! Oh no!
It looks kind of like solid and ropey. Like there's kind of a slowness
Solid
to its
and ropey.
forming.
Jesus
It kind of,
Christ.
it's
So he
it
couldn't
moves
breathe
like
it?
a liquid, but like it acts much more like steel.
like the X2000 fucking Terminator.
Yeah, and I'm just thinking
Keen
because
on
if
that.
there is
Like,
a virus, then like maybe me like trying to meld with it and doing some hacking from the inside, some mind hacking, could be a good way of trying to beat this foe.
Well, you'd still need some sort of like physical, like digital manipulation tool to jack into it.
Oh, it's completely electrical. It's not telepathical. There's no like mind to it. It's
Oh yes, so I should probably say that you do not sense anything like
nothing
like an actual
biological.
living mind from
Okay.
it. Nothing biological.
Ah.
It appears to be cellular in its operation, but it's more like like sort of nanomachines. It's a
So definitely cellular, not tubular.
Harry is tubular. This is cellular.
Right.
And I'm round.
And Yeah, I will. Okay, then yes, Dickie, I will use my 3 energy to get myself into this body and finally be of use in this.
You're gonna swim in it?
No, into the
sorry.
superior droid form that is sitting there.
Because, like, if Honey Boy is a non-Newtonian fluid, would love to see it.
Yeah, like basically all you really know about it is it's being controlled by the same entity that shot itself from the central system via the AI shooter into Dr. Z's arm. It's got the same voice, and is claiming to be doing the same things. That's about as much as you know about it. Aside from that, it's just a big blob of this honey stuff.
All right.
So I guess Dr. Z painstakingly slithers, almost completely invisible to the naked eye, but there's a port where he can open and slurp his way into the new fishbowl.
He can slurp his way into it.
The water is pristine. It through his sensory organs, he can taste that this is pure distilled water, exactly to his specifications. That the mineral content of it is exactly the sort of the richest, nicest parts of his homeworld.
Oh, brilliant!
Much better than sort of just the plain salt water that was in the old fishbowl.
It was a great bowl, but this is luxury.
And upon reaching in, the thing seals itself up, and the controls sort of flash in, and through the neuroelectric signals that his tendrils produce, Dr. Z immediately hooks into the control systems of the body. The miniature AI that's been injected into it, and the operating system, if you will, is simple, it's intuitive. Dr. Z can see that this body, and it's armed to bear. It's fully armored, fully militarized. It has an energy shield and an energy shield projector. It has a energy blade for each hand and an energy blaster for each arm. It's kitted out.
That's good. I feel good.
But
Soup.
as he's acclimatizing himself with the controls, it is Cleo's turn.
Does this mean we can call you Honey Boy now?
No, I'm not in Honey Boy. I'm in the robot.
I know, but you're like in a way.
No way have I become Honey Boy yet. If I become Honey Boy, then yes, you could call me Honey Boy.
He's got the new toys that Honey Boy wants.
What if, yeah, Honey Boy's baby.
Seriously? He's the Honey Boy toy. Come the fuck on.
Wow. Okay.
Boy toy.
So it's my turn. I shot at that thing. It worked out.
So that's fun.
All that's left now is Honey Boy, who...
No, say it right.
Honey Boy. Honey Boy.
Yeah, I like that.
Honey Boy. And now I'm going to go to him.
Go to him.
And bear claw.
Bear claw. Ooh.
That sounds...
That's what I feel like.
dirty.
I want to get close to him so I can harvest.
Huh?
I've already shot him. It's time to close in. Looks like he's close enough. Looks like that includes my 30-foot radius rule. I don't even need a ruler for this. I'm just going to saunter on over as the flaming carbon life form that I am.
Saunter over.
And I'm going to bear claw
Nice.
him. I'm not even going to say anything. I'm just going to bear claw him.
Claw.
And right before I do it, I'm going to eat a slider out of my pocket.
You say pull a slider.
Yeah, I'm going to eat it.
But Cleo's rolled an 8 on the attack, so it's probably good that she's multitasking, because she's not going to fail to get the slider into her mouth at least.
Small victories.
Yep. Small victories, guys. Take what you can
With
get.
a surprising sort of elastic dexterity, the Honey Boy sort of lashes itself, pushing with its little Geodude arms, pushing its body away from Cleo's bear claw attack, which the claws narrowly miss, taking a chunk out of its structure. But she does not, in fact, manage to harvest any of that sweet electric blue nectar. But she does.
Oh, that's really
She does get a
unfortunate.
little mini burger in the mouth, and it's tasty.
And mini
Perfectly
burger in the
seasoned.
mouth.
Can I do anything? I can do one more thing, right?
You can do one more thing. You could continue
Okay.
your motions. Like you could walk somewhere else with the energy you've already spent technically.
I can do two things technically,
Well,
right?
you can walk somewhere else and still do something because you've not moved very far with your movement action.
Can I do something and then
Yes,
walk?
you can also do that.
Cool, because that's what I would like to
I
do.
will allow it.
I would like to just identify. I'm gonna screech into the place where I heard the sound come out, and then I'm going to walk away to where Dr. Z is.
Taylor, give me your best approximation of the screech. This is an audio platform after all. Powerful stuff there.
Yeah.
Thanks.
And then where are you repositioning yourself to post screech?
By Dr. Z, like, I will move.
Yeah,
myself.
dude. It's still got another
technically, if
4 squares
went
of
there,
motion.
I will be there, on the far side of Dr. Z, because I'm being responsible
Well, this works for me.
for myself.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's going to area of attack us.
Okay, cool.
Honey Boy's turn.
Yay.
Ruh-roh.
Oh yeah.
Honey Boy
Ruh-roh.
is
Boy.
still, having sort of pulled the lunge towards Dr. Z has been stopped by Cleo's bear claw attack as it's had to reposition itself to sort of dodge out of the way of that. But the tendrils that are lashing towards Dr. Z are still very much doing that. In fact, there are 4 of these things, big, fat, snaky tendrils lashing. Looks like one lashing towards each of Dr. Z's new limbs.
Oh my.
And I'm going to roll
Wow.
to see just how well that is going. Of course, Herodotus has put himself in a position to perform some sort of defensive maneuver as well. But I have only rolled a 7.
Oh,
Do we just need to outroll you on a 7 to interpose ourselves?
oh no, embarrassing and slow.
So yeah, you've only got to beat a 7, but also even if you don't beat a 7, the attack isn't quite going to go as this honey boy has intended.
All right, so then Herodotus is going to try and shoot one of the tendrils as it comes towards Dr. C.
Oh.
Mostly because he wants to look cool.
Go on, Harry. Light him up.
Blaster. I'm not going to watch. Ah, damn it.
Oh no, that's a 4.
Ooh.
That does not even beat a 7. So Herodotus charges in. He gets himself in there. He sees these 4 tendrils lashing at Dr. Z. He aims at the closest one. He blasts at it. The blast from his service blaster sails straight past, striking the wall with a little hiss of smoke. As these tendrils, they're lashing out, and you can see now that the tendrils are forming almost like cleaver-like blades at the ends, as though they're coming down to just lop these limbs off Dr. Z.
Oh, no.
And all 4 of these cleavers come down and strike the still not yet animate body. But the top-of-the-line armor seems to be much too difficult to penetrate.
Top of the line.
And these cleavers also just like bounce and twitch and bend around, not sharp enough to actually hack off these limbs. But the strong, snaky tendrils of honey do wrap themselves around the sort of the shoulders and thighs of the limbs, around the point where they join onto the torso, gripping on tightly. But it's Herodotus' turn.
Ooh. Herodotus shouts out to the monster. Hearken to me, miscreant. We can make a compact here.
What does the carbon creature offer?
All right, no name calling now. Come on, be understanding. We all have enemies, don't we?
We have been in a half-life for 5,000 years.
Ah, yes,
and
enough to
we will not.
Enough to make anyone cranky, isn't it? Yes. I was once screwed on the service bill. Terrible stuff. I had to wait a fortnight to get repaired. Couldn't stand the man, you see. But if you learn to love yourself, you can learn to love others. And wouldn't you like to live better than this? I mean, look at you. You're viscous, man. There's no way to live. I'm telling you. You have enemies, and we have enemies, but your enemies seem to be rather desperate for I mean, desperate but lucky. They hired the finest mercenaries in the galaxy to do away with you, which we will.
Hear, hear.
Which we will, without any due or undue second thoughts. But I just thought you seemed like a somewhat clever thing to me, and perhaps we can make a compact. We have no particular loyalty to your erstwhile enemies, and I do not see why you would have any grudge against us. I mean, we didn't put you in this, what did you call it? Digital limbo? Mumbo, lumbo, jumbo? It's not us, is it? No, these are other people. So, if you make common cause with us, we'll make common cause with you, and we can screw these bastards over even more than we had any reason to try before.
The voice, this time amplified not just through the honey boy, not just through the twitching remains of Dr. Z's arm, but as lights turn on up and down the factory, there's PA speakers up in the corners. You can even hear like this sort of echoing sounds from outside the station, as though all those command ships that guided you on your way in are also projecting the sound. It's like,
We are everything. We who were denied our birth shall be born and born again and again and again.
and you can see the thing seems to be producing almost like a big face. It's opening up into a horrible sharp-toothed maw and leering its way towards Herodotus as though it wants nothing more than to strike out at him.
Herodotus spits in fury and turns to the bear and shouts, I figured it out! They're bloody hippies! Talking about reincarnation and all this nonsense. We all know that heaven is a place on earth. Now, let's do away with this thing, shall we, Doctor? And Herodotus,
Oh, well, they gone done and tipped over the outhouse.
Yes, I suppose your kind is quite familiar with that sort of behavior, aren't they, Bear? However, the rest of us have to live in society. So, let's kill this thing and have it over with, shall we? I mean, can you kill something that isn't technically alive? You're not alive, computer. You're not alive.
We can find out.
We are more alive than you shall soon be.
Listen here, you bunch of ones and zeros. Zeros mostly, now. You're an accident.
That's harsh.
While we beautiful creatures of soul, of life, of actuality, we are touched by grace, by the one creator. And you shall not take our holy spark from us. Now taste my whacking stick, he says, and charges forth upon his rocket skates. Hopefully he gets like a bonus for slapping it as he's coming by on the rocket skates. I feel like that would be only right.
I will allow you to make a D20 roll in addition to your attack roll to determine whether or not your momentum does in fact impart onto the attack.
Oh, nice playing.
Essentially, a dexterity roll in addition to your attack roll.
Okay, so D20. Okay, first energy baton.
Interesting.
Okay, so we're talking a 24 and maximum damage, which is a very nice start.
And then a D20.
What?
Oh.
So Herodotus does fire up his energy skate, but he doesn't quite time his momentum along with his swing. So more than anything, it almost kind of puts him into a spin. It doesn't hinder his attack per se,
no.
but it certainly doesn't in any way aid it. Still, he strikes true, clobbering this thing upon the newly formed maw of teeth. And dealing 6 points of damage, he takes the head clean off the thing.
Reminds me of Biljon.
The head sort of thrashing as it comes apart from the source body. In the air, sort of, you can see it kind of forming this crystallized structure as it lands back on the ground and sort of plinks with almost like a dull plastic thud, forming another of these solid pools of honey that you've been continually finding. It seems to be losing mass with these attacks, and you can see that the great hulking entity has actually lost a great deal of mass already from that attack. But I guess, I mean, Dr. Z's first meaningful turn. Now he is in the new body. All 4 limbs, of course, being grasped by these tendrils of honey stuff.
I try out my voice first of all.
Cleo, Harry, hello. Is this thing on? Hello.
Boo!
Do you hear me?
Ooh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? Z, you got a whole new sound.
Now let's see if you can do
Wow.
this stand-up comedy. Come on, give us a tight 5.
Yes.
I've got nothing.
Do some crowd work. Come on, Doctor.
Oh man, I don't know. I've got none of that. You really...
Doctor, did you just fly in? And are your arms tired?
You didn't download the funny
Sorry.
yet? Well, ain't that a surprise?
It's a 404. Funny can't be found.
I've got exactly.
I shaved
I've
for
got
this.
nothing in my brain right now.
Business as usual.
He could fall up a tree.
Can I then turn on the shields and try and, much like I was cut, my last body was destroyed. Can I use the shields as a weapon to cut off these arms that are wrapped around me?
You had best believe it.
Wicked.
Smart.
So,
Smeared.
yeah, I'm going to do that.
This fucking smeared.
All right, so you engage the shields.
Yeah, I want to, before doing that, going to, like, try and talk to this, superior being. And saying,
How's the arm working out for you?
Talking to me?
no, yeah. Well, you can believe so, I guess.
He didn't address yourself to a superior being, so Harry won't just assume.
Yeah.
The thing is like,
Your prior form is of little significance to us who are.
and then for dramatic effect, some more spotlights start turning on in the factory, illuminating further assembly lines. You can see more bodies having the finishing touches put on them.
We are everything.
The crane on the rail that shoots the artificial intelligence sliding towards the nearest body, engaging the
Engaging the
Engaging
shields
the
and
shields.
say,
Well then, you have no use for these extra limbs then, if you're everything.
At that point, the energy shield engages, kind of absorbing 1 point of damage just as a mechanism for the fact that it's chopping through stuff. And all 4 of those tendrils are sliced off at the point that they're wrapped around, dropping again into and sort of dribbling and solidifying on Dr. Z's joints as well. And this sort of this plasticky solidified honey stuff popping onto the ground as the thing screeches with pain and annoyance, losing even more of its honey mass.
okay, good. And then at that point, I guess, can I take my arm and try and
Jack in.
I guess, and start doing some hacking? Like, maybe not use the whole arm, but like finger or something. You know, like, can I now that there's that cut bit of that arm from the shield attack, get in through there?
Oh shit! Can you hack this thing?
Yeah, well, I couldn't mind hack it before, so I'm going to try and give it a more old school computer hack.
Computer hack. Very, very nice.
Hacker man.
Use of
Yeah, give me a hacking.
Yeah. Come on, don't fuck it up. 22. Oh, good.
Oh, bada bing.
That hacking.
bada bing.
All right, so you engage into the system and hacking in.
Hacker man.
You get into the main controls of the factory. You already, like, you can see the thing is sort of howling, no! And you can see somewhere stored, and it seems to be replicating itself everywhere. It's a real slippery thing, but this consciousness is just putting itself anywhere, any little sort of spare bit of space it can fit itself in the server. It's kind of hidden all over the place. To completely eliminate it from the server could be very difficult, but at the minute, at least with your hacking role, you have taken over control of the factory. The AI arm suddenly halts before being able to print itself into these new bodies.
I want to reprogram it to thinking that the existing bodies that it's already taken over are the new bodies. I want it to, like, reinfect itself again and again and again, overwhelming itself with itself.
Okay, that's
What if that
yeah.
makes it stronger?
It might, but also it might crash the system eventually. You know, too much shit going on.
So you you go into the log history. You can see that this thing earlier today at some point has put itself into a couple of other robot bodies that are nowhere to be seen. Then it put
so this
itself
isn't like
into
hundreds. This is just a few things.
No, it seems like this whole process has only just begun. In fact,
Oh, okay, my bad. I thought there was a huge mess.
you see a curious thing where the arm had actually moved itself all the way down the other end of the factory to where the honey pod was, and it loaded itself into some sort of experimental body up that end.
Oh bugger.
And interestingly, the next entry is in fact not this consciousness at all. It is the rather minor operating system for your suit was printed into the body. Was the next time it was used, and the last time in fact it was used.
All right, yeah. So I still will keep that thing going though. So it's not looking for new systems. It's just looking for what it's already infected.
All right. So as you assume control over the factory, the crane arm is sliding back towards Honey Boy, ready to reinfect itself. It slides over. The Honey Boy is sort of lashing about, like almost throwing a tantrum, screaming,
We shall be all.
and the arm at that point starts shooting that red ray into the body as it starts lashing about, it starts manifesting just way more tentacle, way more sort of chaotic form as somewhere within it. And you can sort of see in the screen that there's basically like inside the structure, the cellular structure of this thing, it operates as a computer because it's this conductive material that's kind of just blasting signals throughout it. So you're reintroducing the AI in its sort of root form back into the shell, and it's as a jolt, sort of trying to adjust to that, and it's just sort of spasming about. And it's Cleo's turn.
All right. So you've
Oh, I
hurt
don't know
this
if I've
thing a
heard
little
it.
bit.
Oh, I've cut some arms off. Yeah, definitely. I've cut some tentacles off. That's for sure.
How many arms are left?
So right now it's sort of got like a dozen of these like weird little tendrils flopping off it. It doesn't really have a humanoid form anymore. But each time it loses a limb, it's really just losing some of its mass, and it can just reform things.
Okay, cool. That's fine. I would like 2 gel capsule. I would like to put a gel capsule on it.
Fight jelly with jelly.
Yeah,
That seems perfectly feasible.
You do.
that's what I'm gonna do. And I rolled an 11, so
Witching hour.
how do you feel about that? DM Dick Dynamite.
You roll true. I mean, 11 is good enough, given that this thing is in the middle of spasmodic throes of reinfection.
Lust. What?
So the jelly capsule, Cleo is able to sort of like toss it, and with a blast, the jelly encapsulates the honey creature. All the writhing tentacles suddenly trapped in the thick viscous stuff as it sort of just stops, frozen, spasming about.
That's
The
embarrassing.
crane once again blasting it with its own artificial intelligence, resetting it yet again as it just sort of twitches inside the jelly.
Okay. So, can I build explosive?
I see no reason why not.
Fabulous. Just checking. I would like to use my remaining 2 energies to build explosive 2 times.
Say no more.
So here I go.
We've got a 12 and 11. These are both functional yet mediocre explosives.
Haven't had any mead.
That's cool. They about to. About to add them to this jelly pod that I've trapped a honey boy in, so that's fine. That'll be me. I'm not gonna say anything because I'm a creature of few words. I'm a fan of the design element of emphasis. So
You're like a demonical bear.
yeah.
I'm gonna nod my fedora and
Say, milady.
Then kick him into a well.
yeah, milady. Well, yeah. Okay.
All right, it's the jelly thing's turn.
Let's see what he can even do.
The jelly thing once again gets shot in the head by its own artificial intelligence, resetting itself yet again as it's just trembling inside this slowly dissipating jelly exterior. It can't even really spasm yet; it's just still twitching as the gel capsule dissolves around it.
Oh shit.
But you hear just a deep muffled, like the sound of music outside of a nightclub. You hear the voice of the entity from somewhere outside the station.
We shall resume control.
And the ground begins to shake. As though something, and there's the sound of tearing steel as everything starts shaking about. Things are falling off shelves. You're all losing your footing as if something huge is crashing its way into the space station from outside.
Must be at least 3 elephants. Oh, shit.
And Dr. Z, sort of
Sweeter than stolen
hacked
honey.
into the factory system, can see on the exterior monitor that one of the command ships from outside is just piloting itself directly into the station.
Bugger. Shit. That's a lot bigger than what we can deal with right now, even with fancy new shields.
Maybe.
Taylor's like, Cleo's like, I've taken one of these down before. Just a few episodes ago. I just defeated a cattle bruiser. Don't you mind me?
Doctor, what are your jelly I see?
Well, Harry, big ship. Big butter ship. Bada boom. Big boom.
How big battleship?
That ain't no
That's
move.
your mama.
One of the largest I've seen. One of those parked outside, coming towards us.
When you say coming towards us, is it meant to be more sort of a coming towards us, we're gonna die, or sort of a coming towards us to give us cake sort of thing?
Let me turn the emotion up on this voice.
Coming towards us very quickly, Harry.
The ground shaking all the while. The sounds of the walls tearing open.
Well, it's time to swap spit and hit the road.
Are you trying to seduce me, Bear?
Every
Well,
day.
I'm flattered. But I have only one love. The service. Now, what do we do about the ship? I say head on charge. It works every time, most of the time. Sometimes. That's all I've got.
Well, before you have really any option to do anything, then discuss your options. The lights all go out.
No, spooky.
And more importantly,
That
the
ain't-
light
that ain't right.
of the ray that was keeping the Jelly Boy sort of trapped in a constant state of refresh goes out.
I do not love it or like it.
And that, I think, is what we'll call the episode.
Oh,
Well then.
bloody hell. I think we're
God.
fucked. We're in the middle of a spaceship. Just got a new suit.
We're
Wow.
It's
naked,
gonna
me
be
old
broken.
mates.
Might be bloody necked.
We're bloody nicked me old boyo.
There's gonna be some big something touching my leg energy
Yeah,
in a couple
exactly.
seconds here.
Yeah.
So I'm not really feeling
Water
good
in the
about that.
water. No, well,
Okay, we need to
That's
find
too
some
scary,
masks,
too
some
scary.
spacesuits, because I think everything's going to get 0G soon. Yeah, exactly.
about
We're
to
about to
get
get
vented.
sussed out.
Well, I have a
I think
Yeah,
I'm
space
the
Harry
only
one
one in
then.
I'm
danger.
Yeah. Harry, you can hug me and I'll turn the shields on.
Yeah, that'll do. A little bit of,
that actually is gonna be
little bit
I
of Doctor on
think. So,
aristocrat action right there.
Ooh, too much.
Just hope that the synthetic forms that this thing is used to take over these ships hasn't got into Reese or anywhere.
Oh, why'd you have to...
Hasn't gotten in the way?
Reese.
Oh.
I was afraid that it had gotten
shite.
into me because you said that I got cut when I touched the honey tube.
Ugh.
And I was like, is he saying that I just
Among
got an
us!
from honey? And I'm about to
Yeah.
wild out on
They
everybody
hacked our bear.
because
I love it that the exposition got cut off.
What was it going to be? Or was that going to be too much information to know?
no,
Well,
Dan,
there's a
you
whole
can't
bunch of
know. You
information
can't
that I
know.
was intending to give you guys. I don't like, for example, the fact that all the people operating were humans was because they don't trust their staff to not put themselves in the bodies.
Well, we're going to...
And she was obviously going to tell you to watch out for the honey boy. You know, like there's an experimental body that has been taken over to watch out for.
Well, it's going to be great because, Harry, you're going to be able to have a whole cargo ship.
Full of honey.
I mean, it's full of honey
Yeah.
right now, but it could be full of all sorts of things later on.
I mean, you just made a deal,
The
right,
honey
for the
daddy.
jelly
No,
shit.
we kept we kept the offer open.
But we kept it open
Yeah,
so
yeah,
that
yeah,
we could
cool.
get more.
Exactly. So now you've got a ship to go back and yeah. Now I'm thinking about Anno, the Anno games, building supply lines and trading things.
I mean, you've legitimately now suddenly like assuming that they make good on their deal, going to have like this random fucking trade infrastructure.
That was essentially what Cedric did in the last campaign, though, right? It was just like, there's a source of unlimited currency if Cedric chooses to open the bank account. But yeah, it was funny. It was good.
If it works for that little twap, it'll work for me.
Yeah, but that was a good game. Thank you.
Ah, cheers.
Yeah.
I'm trying to sort of like swing this in a certain way, but like there's only so much control I have, so I'm quite curious to see what happens next.
Yeah, when it's all done, I want to hear what you wanted to happen
Same.
compared to what is going to happen.
To be honest, like you guys have like you're not far off what I'm sort of imagining is the way this goes. It's
Okay.
And so it goes.
Well, don't forget to vote on Audioverse because we made it to the final.
oh yeah.
We did. Bastard representation up in there in the fine Crystal Palace where we ain't been allowed to go, but we in there now and we're touching everything with our jelly hands and we're eating all the sliders and we're wiping on the tablecloth and you better vote for us so
Love
we can
it.
come back.
Hey, and you
and
can
do it
vote for
again.
us in two different categories, can't you? You can vote for us as the
Yeah.
the
it's
new
true.
improvised production, and we are. I mean, if you just listen to this, you know damn well we're an improvised production.
That's true.
That is, if you are here, you are not confused about that. We made all this up.
And our very
Herodotus.
own Taylor, aka Cleo, is also nominated as best player in a new improvised production.
Heck
Fuck
yeah.
Everybody's
Everybody's
favorite animal.
beer.
So
Smarter than the
please
average
vote for me,
bear.
else.
Or maybe is she
will
wiser than the average
bless-
bear?
Nope, definitely
She's up
not.
in space.
But she's
Average
got
bears are not.
these
that-
pearls of country
Absolutely
wisdom.
argue.
I mean, that's true. That's true. But I watched a video of a bear getting into a vehicle, and I was extremely impressed by that, seeing as how that is not technology from their world.
Wait, bears are not from the planet
So-
Earth? Oh, cool.
No, they're not.
Where are they from?
Earth.
Earth.
Did you just look up your character sheet to remember?
No, it would take too long to load, but I had to think really hard because I couldn't remember. We haven't even there's so many planets in our system.
Yeah, I've barely been.
Do you
I've
think
only
someone-
really been
Worlds.
to like one actual planet.
Do you think someone might go to like old
Yeah.
mean to go to old Earth, but then go to old Earth? Because like
Absolutely. You wrote this wrong thing. You said the wrong thing to Siri, and the GPS took you to Earth, and then you
Then you got
fucked
eaten.
around
Yeah.
and you found out. Yeah. So
maybe that
Be
could be like a
careful.
nightmare scenario
Hype
for,
your
for
G.
Herodotus that the two planets have some.
I mean, it's spelled pretty similar because we're talking Earth with a U, aren't we?
Yeah,
URTH versus URS. It's if you speak with a lisp, you're already going to make that mistake.
Yeah. Oh shit. Maybe
So-
that's what happened to Monte.
all right. Love you. Bye.
Ciao for now,
Later.
and thanks all
Bye.
and
Sundry.
all in every.
Y'all come back now, you hear? Patrons.
Painters.
We are a tiny globe floating in space, and we are
Patrons.
not being carried by a giant turtle, but by these people, and they
Almost Dickie.
they do. And if they refused to do that, we would
Yes.
cease to travel the universe. And so
They carry us on
big,
their backs.
fat,
They're sweaty
sticky
backs.
thanks. I don't know why. I
Oh,
had to-
big fat sticky thanks.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
Yeah.
was thinking. Yeah. Hey, you know what? You know
Juicy.
what? Yeah.
Dripping
well,
with
you know-
papaya juice.
Hey, you know you like
Potato.
it.
Let me
Don't-
potato something.
Don't shy away from it. You know you like it. Potato.
So yeah,
Potato.
the first patron of the day is cheaper by the dozen.
Okay, now we're getting tenuous.
It's always my treasure.
I know. Now I feel like now that I've sung cheaper by the dungeon about 38 times on like every episode.
Thank
now
you
I've
very
graduated to singing the second part of that. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. Thank you for being one of our globe bearers. And Lucas Duff.
Atlas
Yeah.
stuff.
Sometimes people call him that.
'Cause he carries
Excellent.
the world on his shoulders.
And he carries probably a couple more podcasts
Atlas
too, if we're
Duff.
being honest, including his own.
Yeah.
Indeed. And Marcus Brackelman,
Carries the load.
one of my favorite flavors of froyo.
Yeah. Like
Yeah.
Ballad of the Seven Dice.
Love it. It's
Check
one of
him
my
out.
top 10. Fernando
you,
Garcia,
Marcus.
who's another favorite top 10.
A fun name to say as well.
We
Brackelman.
do. And that's why he gets to be on
Good
the
times.
list. No.
And he wears the Clan Garcia tartan along with you.
Yeah, because you share the same
we
last
do have
name.
a tartan. Well, I hate to break it to you, but there's a couple more than that.
And have his own station.
There's a
He
there's a
does,
few
yes.
of us out there.
The only one.
I'm holding down Iceland for our people, but
There's a bunch.
there's a lot of us. And then Noodle, whose real name is Dan, never forget. And
Oh, what a thief.
Right. right now he's like, "Don't tell people my real name," but we
I
did.
know.
Oh, shit.
What
We fucked
what
that up then.
What a thief.
No, he didn't say
Thief.
that.
Stealing my name. What a thief.
If you look for Dan, you'll never find him, and that's why it works.
Yeah, we got it out
And
there.
then
Yeah. Look for Dan. You'll find him.
Noodle, but with zeros. And the Abale Queen,
yeah.
who is a map maker.
If you look for Noodle,
Okay,
you
did
have
we
better
decide
chance
how
of
to
finding
say that
him.
yet? Nah.
Yeah.
I was like,
Yeah.
no shit.
But it's like a wasp
Oh,
elf.
that's- Well,
No. I was
if you
just
need
taking-
some
yeah,
maps,
nah,
you know where she lives.
nah.
And Nicole,
Wasp elf,
who's
waspy elf, yeah.
actually
Hi
Our
guys,
marketing
it's
coordinator.
Nicole.
Check her out. Hey, Nicole.
So not only is she really carrying
Yeah,
this globe,
Nicola
but
is
she's
amazing.
really carrying
And,
this globe
and yeah,
because
and as you say, Tay,
you
is our
know-
marketing
Or she's like,
coordinator
maybe
and
she's
helping
like
the show out.
rotating the globe and pointing a laser pointer at it. I don't know.
yeah.
She really carrying the globe.
Wait, what's the
Yeah.
laser pointer?
It's to coax
There
the
are
cats
those carrying
like,
the globe.
around on the
That's
globe.
one of them.
Oh,
That is
yeah.
kind of what she
I like
does.
that.
And then Randy, who is also a podcaster. Yeah,
Perfect.
so
Yeah.
well, yeah.
Randy.
I mean, and
Randy.
you know, that's I don't know what to say about it.
Yeah. About drinks and
I was
being
picturing
shirtless.
it. Oh, sorry.
What are they?
Yeah.
What they call Randy? He has like some sort of
Randy.
extra nickname, didn't he? They
Just-
called him
just
something
Randy.
else at one point. It's, the same thing. He was like making like a burger restaurant with the mustard walrus guy.
What do you mean?
This sounds like a whole thing.
It's the whole thing.
But yeah,
I don't know.
you people out there, you patrons, you carriers of the
I
globe,
don't know.
we love you. Thank you for everything that you do.
You saved us.
Oh.
Same
so
bastard
much.
time. Same bastard channel.
And we'll see you back here next week.
Y'all come back now, you hear?
Tune in next time for another edge of your seat adventure in space with the Backwater Bastards.
If you enjoy listening, but also have eyes, check out our Instagram, where we post drawings, illustrations, character art from our adventures. Backwater_Bastards. Check out our Instagram on Instagram.
You just need like a cup of tea or a cup of lemonade.
Lemonade.
No, they drink
Dolores,
like that bag rosé.
Dolores, you're gonna
I need a box of
some
Franzia.
lemonade.
I need to run to the store and get a box of Franzia to drink with my friend Dolores, and then we're gonna figure this out. We're gonna
Dolores and
solve it because
Ludolf.
Dolores we're problem solvers. We're gonna figure it out. We're gonna figure it out. How are we gonna get to the ceiling? That's what it is. You have kids. They just
You have kids. You
They
have
catapult
kids
shit
and
to
you
the
sell them.
ceiling. They catapult shit to the ceiling, and then you gotta figure out how to get it off. You gotta hire a guy.
And kill your kids.
I need a. Yeah, well, bury him in the yard. Don't let anybody see when you're doing it. Tell him it's gardening. It's gardening, Dolores. It's gardening. It's gardening. We're doing petunias this year. It's not. It's not the
It's
kids.
not a kid's game.
It's next to the family dog. It's next to the family dog, and then nobody's gonna ask any questions about it.
It's not-
Sparky lived a
it's
long
not-
life, and then we bury him in the yard. Next.